My name is Panarasi Gamanakun and I will be the MC today. This meeting aims to provide a platform for discussion and exchanging of best practices in addressing the marine debris problem among experts and a broad range of stakeholders, including government, private sectors, academia, international organizations, NGOs, as well as civil society organizations. Moreover, today's meeting is part of Thailand's ongoing dialogue on sustainable development from the ASEM Symposium on Inter-Regional Partnership for Sustainable Development held in Bangkok last May, to the ASEAN Conference on Reducing Marine Debris in ASEAN region, which Thailand hosted last November, and the ASEAN-China Workshop on Marine Environmental Protection in the South China Sea held in Phuket this July in order to distill regional capacity in the handling marine debris problem. Excellencies, distinguished participants, the meeting will be divided into 3 sessions. We shall begin with a high-level session in which policymakers from both Asia and Europe, as well as from international organizations, will provide updates on the current status and challenges in the marine ecosystem governance. Afterwards, there will be a workshop for experts and practitioners to draft a proposed management plan for marine debris reduction in Asia and Europe. Finally, the last session will focus on allowing public and private sectors, as well as civil societies, to share their innovative ideas and inspiring experience in managing marine debris problem. Apart from forging closer relationship between ASEM and partners in the field of sustainable development, we hope that this meeting will be initiative to weave both Asian and European forte into an effective inter-regional capacity for dealing with the current challenges, which can also be expanded globally. Excellency, distinguished participants, may I now invite His Excellency Mr. Virasak Phutrakul, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, to deliver an opening remark. Please welcome Mr. Virasak Phutrakul.
สวัสดีครับ Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to join all of you this morning for the opening ceremony of the ASEM meeting on sustainable marine environment, marine debris. First of all, on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, I wish to extend a very warm welcome to all the participants attending this meeting, particularly those of you who have traveled from afar. Your contribution is crucial to our common effort to address the marine debris problem, and perhaps more importantly, to put plans into practice to coordinate our actions in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the marine debris problem is fast becoming a global problem of epic proportions. The United Nations Environmental Programme has labeled it a dire, fast and growing threat. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation estimates that there will be more plastic than fish in the sea by 2050 if no serious action is taken. Every minute, the equivalent of 1 garbage truck's worth of plastic is dumped into the sea, and the situation is getting worse, particularly Asia, because Asia provides is the source of 80% of the plastics being dumped into the ocean each year. Its devastating impact not only affects the marine animal directly, but disrupts the whole food chain and habitats of every species on this planet. It can also impact our health, tourism sector, economy, and our global environment. Given the transboundary nature of the marine debris problem, a global approach is required if we are to ensure the sustainable development of our respective countries and regions. Fortunately, ambitions to speed up the efforts to reduce marine debris are evident in the many initiatives and campaigns in both Asia and Europe. These include the initiative calling for more efficient management of waste from land and the campaigns to reduce, reuse, recycle, and refuse all plastics. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting today is therefore timely and important building upon the ASEM Symposium on Inter-Regional Partnership for Sustainable Development, which was held in Bangkok last May. This time we choose to focus on sustainable ocean governance, which is high on the ASEM agenda this year. It is crucial that we use this opportunity to address the marine debris problem and discuss ways ASEM will be able to work together to address this challenge in practical terms with more actions, more new ideas, and more creative thinking. In addition to this meeting itself, I'm so pleased that a parallel activity entitled SEA exhibition will be organized displaying the latest innovations and technologies from the Thai private sector to tackle the marine debris problem. Together, these events reflect the move towards a more holistic approach by all the parties concerned, while leading to closer coordination and collaboration, as well as greater awareness in the minds of the public at large. Importantly, the outcome of this meeting will be presented in the draft Marine Debris Reduction Management Plan for Asia and Europe, which will be reported to the ASEM leaders during the ASEM Summit in October this year, which our Prime Minister will attend. Ladies and gentlemen, on Thailand's part, we attach great importance to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 14, Life Below Water. With regard to sustainable fisheries, we have been working hard to combat illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, overhauling our fisheries industries to make them more sustainable and taking into account the availability of marine resources to ensure that future generations will continue to be able to harvest them sustainably in the long term. On marine environment, we have held several meetings on this topic under the ASEM framework, such as the ASEM Conference on Reducing Marine Debris in the ASEM region last November, and the ASEM China Workshop on Marine Environmental Protection in the South China Sea, held in Phuket this past June. We also plan to organize an ASEAN Regional Forum workshop on regional climate change and coastal disaster this year with Australia, China, and Laos, the PDR. Looking ahead, sustainable development will continue to be one of our priorities during our ASEAN Challenge next year. And being the organizer of this meeting is a natural expansion of our ongoing dialogue on sustainable development into the ASEM framework. Given this progress we have achieved in the area of fisheries reform and the importance we attach to marine environment, we stand ready to play our part globally and to strengthen our partnership on ocean governance with our ASEM members. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. In closing, I would like to express Thailand's deep appreciation and gratitude once again to all participants, especially those of you who have traveled great distances to share your expertise with us today. I also would like to take this opportunity also to thank our private sector, Singha Estate Company, Siam Cement Group, PTT Global Chemical Public Company for their contributions to this meeting. I also would like to thank also Tele John and Trash Hero, for their very active contribution to this meeting. Your presence here today demonstrates a strong will that you all have to tackle this growing trend of marine debris. I'm convinced that through our frank exchanges, further cooperation will be born and forged. But most importantly, through concrete plans and actions, we can together make a real difference in the fight against marine debris and its threat to our ocean's health. Before we close, I would like to quote from one of my favorite authors. People of my generation, I think, know her very well. Rachel Carson, whose book Silent Spring, was the prophetic book of our times about the dangers of pesticides to our environment. But earlier, I think 1951, she wrote a book called The Sea Around Us. And I would like to quote from her book. whose message is also quite prophetic for our time, even though it's nearly 70 years old. In that book, To See Around Us, Madame Carson wrote that it is a curious situation that the sea from which life arose should now be threatened by the activities of one form of life. But the sea, though changed in a sinister way, will continue to exist. The threat is rather life itself. So the threat of marine debris is not just only to our environment, but to our life itself. I now have the honor of declaring open the ASEM meeting on sustainable marine environment, marine debris. I wish you all every success in your deliberations, as well as a pleasant and memorable stay in Thailand. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Before we proceed to the first session, may I invite the Deputy Minister once again on the stage and all the speakers onto the stage for a photo opportunity. Thank you. So please carry all the speakers on the stage, please. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we will begin with a high-level session which focuses on global and regional status and impacts on marine debris. We all know the impact of marine debris on the environment. To gain insight into how serious this problem is right now, our high-level speakers will make it clear why it is urgent to act now. The first statement on current status and the impact of marine debris problems and key challenges for Asia and Europe by Dr. Isabel Luz. Dr. Isabel Luz has been appointed the Deputy Regional Director on the UN Environment Asia Pacific Office in Bangkok since September 2014. She coordinates UN Environment's work program in the Asia Pacific region on issues related to the environment and sustainable development, including initiatives on climate change, environmental governance and law, pollution, sustainable consumption and production, sustainable financing, gender inclusiveness, and the implementation of sustainable development goals. She also coordinates UN Environment's strategic partnerships with governments, research institutions, and the private sectors. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Isabel Luz.
Your Excellency, Mr. Virasak Tutakun, Your Excellency, Mr. Wongpek Altakrai Wanmati, ASEAN Deputy Secretary General, Dr. Lee Chan Samachaya, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Thailand, Your Excellency, Ambassador of Portugal, Francisco Vaz, Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Sawadika, good morning. On behalf of UN Environment, I wish to extend my thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand for the kind invitation to participate and contribute to the opening and discussions of this very important meeting. Before I proceed into the more detailed topics to discuss with you, I'd like to share with you a video that summarizes some of the key issues that we are facing.
Food is a very communal thing for Thai people. We're always sharing dishes in the middle of the table. Actually, for Thai people, sometimes instead of saying, "How are you?" we would instead say, "Have you eaten?" Because Bangkok is so filled with food everywhere, it means that plastic is also everywhere. It's very sad to see that. I think it's quite contradictory. You know, you have this food that's very good for your body and it's delicious, it tastes good, but it comes in a toxic packaging. Being a food delivery service, we obviously give out a lot of packaging. I thought it would be a great idea to create a simple button for people to say that they don't need the cutlery. That helps the customer to reduce the plastic waste in their own homes. That also means less cost for the restaurant. I hope that Bangkok can get rid of its bins piling, overflowing with plastic, that we can still enjoy good food that comes in packaging that doesn't ruin the environment. I'm Bonnie, I'm reducing plastic waste in food delivery.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree with me that all of us are now much more conscious than ever on the issue of plastic pollution. In the past year, there has been a significant increase in information, news, stories and reports globally, even here in our region and here in Thailand, on the problems linked with plastic pollution. And I'm sure most, if not all of us, are also doing our bit to contribute to solutions and have our own stories on what actions we ourselves are taking. We know that plastics are essential to modern life. We cannot live without plastic. Plastics can enhance the quality of life in ways that other materials cannot. Plastics can help prolong the freshness of food. They help shield and transport sterilized medical supplies. They can help shield and transport and meet resource needs, reduce waste and energy use, and they make our lives more convenient. And much more, however, as much as plastics are useful to our comfortable lifestyles, it is the unnecessary use of plastics that creates problems. Marine litter or debris is defined to include any anthropogenic, manufactured or processed solid material, regardless of size, that is discarded, disposed of, or abandoned in the environment, including all materials discarded into the sea, on the shore, or brought indirectly to the sea by rivers, sewage, stormwater, waves, or winds. Studies are showing that the amount of plastic waste entering the ocean from land each year exceeds 4.8 million metric tons and may be as high as 12.7 million metric tons. The quantities of plastic entering the ocean are growing rapidly, with the potential for cumulative inputs of plastic waste into the ocean as high as 250 million metric tons by 2025. Just to give you an idea of the scale, there's a growing plastic ocean island growing in the upper Pacific region. There's about 8 million metric tons, the size of Texas. Discharges of plastic are spread around the globe, but there are areas of accumulation that are more serious, and many of these places are in the Asia region, including here in Southeast Asia. But ocean pollution isn't a problem limited to one country or even one continent. And it's becoming increasingly clear that what happens in one city can have impacts across the globe. One threat that is fast deepening and raising alarms finally is that marine litter has tremendous effects, negative effects on people's livelihoods, not only in Asia, but all over the globe. According to UN environmental studies, about 80% of marine litter originates on land. These come from poorly managed landfill sites, from poor sewage treatment, from beach recreation, shore fishing, from manufacturing sites, plastic processing, from shore-based solid waste disposal and processing facilities, from inadequately covered waste containers and waste container vehicles, from inappropriate or illegal dumping of domestic and industrial trash or waste, and from street litter that goes into waterways and eventually into the seas. So whilst much attention is appropriately given to removal and cleanups, the lasting solution to the problem is mainly upstream. By accurately diagnosing the problem and finding and addressing key points of intervention, the rate at which plastic and other waste ends up in the sea can be significantly reduced. Moves to address marine litter and microplastics were among the resolutions passed by the 195 UN Environment Assembly members in 2017. The resolution on marine litter and microplastics seeks by 2025 to prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, in particular from land-based activities, including marine debris and nutrient pollution. Governments called for the action to raise the profile on the importance of long-term elimination of discharge of litter, urged all actors to step up actions to prevent and reduce marine pollution of all kinds, and encouraged all member states to prioritize policies and measures at appropriate scale to avoid marine litter and plastics entering the marine environment. The resolution also emphasized that sound waste management should be given the highest priority, and that this is especially important in geographical areas with the largest sources of marine plastic litter. So in this context, UN fully supports the multi-stakeholder approach for a circular economy. This means that materials constantly flow around a closed-loop system rather than being used once and then discarded. As a result, the value of materials, including plastics, is not lost by being thrown away. The benefits of circular economy approach to plastic waste management are clear for businesses and the environment. There's more effective use of materials, lower costs, and less waste. However, a successful plastic circular economy needs partnerships. Partnerships to design products for recyclability, new designs for packaging, new designs and wider use of refills, recycling, and using post-consumer recycled materials in innovative ways. Partnerships to embrace a systemic change in circular thinking at industry scale. Partnerships to enable governments to create an environment that enables the creation of the circular economy, including the necessary infrastructure to collect and recycle materials. And partnerships that mobilize consumers in areas such as recycling to ensure that they're clear on different disposable methods, example, recycling labels, collection facilities like waste banks, and to explore radical and innovative approaches through new business models. Whilst collective global actions are urgently needed, I would also like to briefly emphasize the importance of the regional, national, and local dimensions. Integrated and coherent strategies, policies, and actions are the basis for effective solutions. These include national to local municipal level governance and also regional ocean governance. For the regional governance platforms, including the UN Coordination Body on the Seas of East Asia, COPSI, as well as the Northwest Pacific Action Plan, NOPAC, the UN is supporting countries and the wider engagement of stakeholders for collaborative efforts in addressing land-based sources of marine pollution, management of coastal and marine habitats, and addressing emerging priority issues. I'm pleased to inform you that UN Environment Regional Office here in Bangkok and COPSI are now successfully acquired a partnership with the Swedish government, the SIDA, to raise our profile on a project focusing on reducing marine litter in Southeast Asia. With this partnership, we look forward to actively engaging with the governments, the private sector, and the civil society to bring about positive changes in the plastic value chain. For example, in making the business case for actions, facilitating technology transfer, setting packaging standards, and incentivizing a plastic circular economy. So solutions to combat plastic pollution lie in partnerships, innovative solutions, and changes in lifestyle. This platform that we're here at ASEM is a very important platform for exchanging the best practices between Asia and Europe. For example, in January this year, the EU adopted the European Strategy for Plastics in the Circular Economy. All plastic packaging in the EU market will be recyclable by 2030, and the consumption of single-use plastics will be reduced, and the intentional use of microplastics will be restricted. Later, in April 2018, the European Parliament approved the package to update current waste management rules, setting new targets for recycling, packaging, and landfilling. Furthermore, in May 2018, the European Commission proposed new EU-wide rules to target 10 single-use plastic products that are most found in Europe's beaches. Here in Asia, we were very encouraged by the worldwide response to World Environment Day in June with the theme of Beat Plastic Pollution. We saw a large number of national pledges and commitments to tackle plastic waste, especially here in the Asia-Pacific region. Here in Thailand, two key ministries, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment and the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Thailand, agreed to work closely on promoting environmentally friendly tourism with hotels and tourist operators, and also Thailand signed on to UN Environment's Clean Seas Pledge. But very importantly here in Thailand, in December last year, both His Excellency General Surasat Kajanarat, the Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, and His Excellency Dr. Wong Kep, highlighted the need for ASEAN to collaborate together to address plastic pollution in this region. They highlighted the adverse impacts of marine debris, especially plastics, to the environment, economic development, and human health. They emphasized the strengthening of collaboration in ASEAN to address the problem together. As Deputy Secretary Wong Kep emphasized, of the top 20 countries ranked by size of mismanaged plastic waste, these include 6 ASEAN countries. So marine debris pollution is therefore very much a regional concern to ASEAN, which will require regional action. So ladies and gentlemen, with the increased consciousness of the serious issues of plastic pollution and the impact on the economy, the social and environmental dimensions of our lifestyles, the convergence of partners for collective solutions is already happening, but needs to be further stepped up. The Asia and Europe meeting, ASEM, provides an important platform that enables this cross-sectoral stakeholder engagement to collaborate actively and share across regions. The United Nations is very much engaged in supporting member states and increasingly working with the private sector to address and support these issues. With our strong partnerships with ASEAN, the EU, the private sector, the science community, and the general public, we are stepping up our work to beat plastic pollution and look forward to collaborating with all of you. So once again, I wish to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for this kind invitation, and wish us all a successful day today to share and learn more on how we can beat plastic pollution. Before I finish, I'd like to share with you another video from one of our 12 startup entrepreneurs who are finding solutions to beat plastic pollution. Thank you, Kapankat.
Industry. That alone is a big negative impact in the environment. I believe that the responsibility should be with the producers first, basically the people from the fashion industry, because it was us in the first place who created this mindset, let's say, of fast fashion. Before, we produced 4 collections a year, but right now it's a weekly collection, so people just buy and throw. The aim of Phoenix is to collect textile waste. So households really come to us to donate their old clothes as well as the garment factories. From there, we check what kind of collections we can do in terms of like creating footwear or bags. As a social enterprise, we don't only focus on our environmental mission, but also our social mission. One of our techniques to upcycle textile waste is through textile weaving. Our weavers are actually persons with disabilities. Our weavers are actually people with autism and people who are deaf. My wish really is that the fashion industry create a circular economy wherein we create a product and then it gets recycled and then we get to use it again. I'm Pamela and I'm a founder of a fashion startup that turns plastic waste into shoes and bags.
Thank you, Kapunka.
Thank you very much, Dr. Isabel Luis. And next statement on ASEM initiatives and cooperation on marine debris management by His Excellency Mr. Wongthep Attakarumati. He has been appointed Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN for Socio-Cultural Community since 2015. His main responsibility is to support the ASEAN Secretary General in implementing the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community Blueprint, as well as managing relations with ASEAN dialogue partners and the international community. Prior to this appointment, His Excellency has served in various Thai government authorities, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Justice. His work experience is focused on many important global issues such as human rights, sustainable development, and environment. He was mainly known as Thailand's chief negotiator in the Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, which he was also principal advisor to the chairperson during its 21st session. Moreover, he was a key person in charge of special project to develop the United Nations rules for the treatment of women prisoners, also known as the Bangkok Rules. Please welcome His Excellency Mr. Wongthep Attakarumati.
Your Excellency Mr. Virasak Phuttakul, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, Dr. Vijan Simachaya, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Thailand, Ms. Isabel Luis, Deputy Regional Director, United Nations Environment Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific, Excellency, the Ambassador of Portugal, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. I am deeply honored to be here today to participate and address this important ASEM meeting on sustainable marine environment, marine debris. My sincere appreciation goes to the Royal Thai government, particularly the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for taking the lead in this initiative, especially for the excellent arrangements and preparations made for this meeting. Let me also convey the best wishes and heartfelt congratulations of the Secretary General of ASEAN, His Excellency Dato' Lim Chok Pai. He is very much supportive of this meeting and is looking forward to hearing the outcome of this meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, Southeast Asia has some of the longest coastlines and richest ocean resources, and the waters form part of the world's center for marine biodiversity, otherwise known as a coral triangle. The region hosts a third of the world's coastal and marine habitats that support 75% of global coral species, 6 of the world's 7 marine turtle species, and 51 of the 70 mangrove species worldwide, with many species endemic to the region. These habitats and their resident species provide tremendous resources, including food, water, medicine, and vital ecosystem services such as climate regulation and source of livelihoods of the coastal community. The annual estimated value of ecosystem services from coral reefs alone comes to $112.5 billion US, while mangroves account for $5.1 billion US. These important habitats and resources, however, are currently under immense pressure and threat, not only from overfishing, coastal development, and climate change, but also from the pressing issue of marine debris pollution. According to the First World Ocean Assessment, marine debris pollution is becoming one of the fastest growing threats to the health of the world's oceans. Sea turtles, marine mammals, and seabirds, for example, are known to ingest or get entangled by marine debris leading to physical deformities and other problems. The main source of marine debris is plastics coming from land, accounting no less than 80%. Plastic have become increasingly dominant in the consumer marketplace. Global plastic resin production, which is mostly used for packaging, has increased 620% since 1975, unavoidably resulting in increased volume of plastic waste. When such plastic waste is mismanaged due to lack of waste management infrastructure improvements, the cumulative quantity of plastic waste to enter the ocean from land is estimated to increase by an order of huge magnitude by 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, although the problem of marine debris pollution is global, it is important to note that the top 20 countries ranked by size of mismanaged plastic waste include 6 ASEAN member states, as Dr. Luis just mentioned. Marine debris pollution is therefore also a regional concern, which will require regional action. We are in need of collective great transformation to tip the scale back to a balance of people, planet, and profit. So we need to change how we conduct our business, what we demand as our consumers, how we carry out our lifestyles. We are in need for not only great transformation, but also a blue one. I would say that there is currently a lot of momentum for the blue economy, and we would need to seize the opportunity to demonstrate the link between marine debris agenda and blue economy, as marine debris is a threat to our economy and reduce revenues for the marine-related sectors. Given the urgency of the situation and the opportunity of the blue economy, ASEM, under the leadership of Thailand, initiated the ASEAN Conference on Reducing Marine Debris in the ASEAN region in November 2017 in Phuket. The Phuket Conference was the first platform for ASEAN that addressed marine debris issue under the official ASEAN cooperation framework. It was an important stepping stone to pave the way forward for ASEAN member states to address the issue collectively and holistically. The conference provided 5 key recommended priority actions that now serve as a supplementary action plan to ASEAN strategic plan on environment. The recommendations highlighted the need for ASEAN to focus on strengthening policy support, capacity building, research and innovation, private sector engagement, and also public outreach. These recommendations demonstrate ASEAN preventive measures and circular economy approach, which is also in line with the European Union strategy for plastics in the circular economy, and also complement the existing global frameworks, strategies, and targets in addressing marine debris issue, such as the SDG 14 and its target 14.1, to prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, and particularly from land-based activities. So, the United Nations Environment Assembly resolutions also talking about marine litter and microplastics, Global Partnership on Marine Litter, and G20 Action Plan on Marine Litter. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Phuket Conference recognized that preventing is better than cleaning up when it comes to marine debris pollution. On this note, ASEAN is now progressing to translate the Declaration on the Culture Prevention for a peaceful, inclusive, resilient, healthy, and harmonious society into action. Perhaps I would like to mention also Dr. Isabel Luis mentioned earlier in her statement. This is very true, that much of our effort in addressing marine debris has to do with the upstream measure. And this is exactly the point I'm trying to make. The cultural prevention is a paradigm shift in the way we respond to challenges by going upstream. One of the thrusts of the cultural prevention is about promoting a culture of resilience and care for the environment, aims to prevent risk of natural human-induced disasters and environmental degradation from occurring in the first place through upstream initiatives. So with this culture of prevention approach, instead of reacting to challenges, we seek to adopt a preventive approach by addressing the underlying causes. In the case of marine debris pollution, The preventive approach starts not only from waste management on land, but also from change in people's mindset and lifestyle. So, as marine debris floating at sea knows no boundaries and is not confined to a single source, I wish to underscore the importance of multi-stakeholder collaboration at the regional and even global level in addressing the problem of multiple fronts. And following up on the recommendations of the Phuket Conference, from land to sea, from policymakers to industry, from the private sector to consumers, everyone needs to step up and be part of the solution that address the problem of marine debris holistically. Combining the extensive experience, expertise, and resources from both Asia and Europe in addressing this issue could also be a better solution for ASEAN and member states. By joining forces, we can answer the call for urgent action, not only from multi-stakeholder collaboration, but also through learning opportunities from the past and ongoing experiences, in particular from solid waste and plastic management, innovative approach, and technology transfer. Concrete action from this ASEAN meeting on marine debris will be another step further to work towards enhancing Asia-Europe partnership with great experience and skills needed to advance waste management in the ASEAN member states and in the region. On this note, I look forward to subsequent discussions at this meeting where we will have a closer look at innovative technologies, ideas, and solutions on waste management for both Asia and Europe that can be jointly implemented through multi-stakeholder collaboration. In moving towards the realization of the overarching goals of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and also the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 and their complementarities, I wish to highlight also that this is an initiative led by the government of Thailand. Today's meeting is among the efforts to contribute to these aspirations. With strong political will and enthusiasm from both Asia and Europe, I am confident that we are on the right track and we have the power to unblock, to achieve multiple opportunities and aim for ambitious goals and targets to combat marine debris problems in our region. And especially before it will become too late and too costly for us. And with this, I wish you all the very best and fruitful deliberations throughout the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Last but not least, for the first session, the statement on impact on marine debris in Asia and what Asian countries have been doing so far to tackle the plastic pollution by Dr. Vijan Simachaya, who is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Thailand. Apart from being a key person in supervising and implementing Thailand's policy on natural resources management and environment, especially in his capacity of chairman of the National 20-Year Plan on Natural Resources and Environmental Management, Dr. Vijan has extensive experiences in forging international cooperation on green growth both regionally and globally. Dr. Vijan served in many departments within the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Thailand, an international organization, including the Director General of the Pollution Control Department and the Director of the Environment Division of the Macro River Commission Secretariat. He earned a PhD in Environmental Engineering from the University of Guelph, Canada. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Vijan Simachaya.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. Weerasak Phutakul, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Kingdom of Thailand, Excellency, Ambassador of Portugal, Excellency Dr. Wongthep Attakaiwanwati, Deputy Director, Secretary General, ASEAN Secretariat, Mr. Isabel Luis, Deputy Regional Director of the UN regional, Asia Pacific regional. It is my great pleasure to attend the ASEM meeting on sustainable marine environment. Especially today we are focusing on the marine debris. That's the very serious problem in the region. Let me show you why we address in this issue in the region. Let me take a look at the slide. You can see the plastic input from the river to the ocean, mostly in the Asia region, or especially in the ASEAN region. Very high concentration or very high volume of plastic from the river discharged into the ocean or the marine environment. You can take a look, compare to other regions in the world. You can take a look from the study as the mostly the marine debris, especially the plastic. You can take a look 10 sort of the ocean plastic waste. 8 countries are the ASEAN country, but 5 of those located in the ASEAN member country. Start with, you can take a look from Thailand. We ranking in number 6, Vietnam number 4, Philippines number 3, Indonesia number 2, and the first rank is belong to China, followed by Sri Lanka. This is why we have to work together to tackle this problem. You can take a look at the photo that show the impact of the plastic. Plastic is the persistent polluter, especially when we throw plastic in the natural environment, in water or even the ocean. It takes quite a long time. Some kind of plastic it takes more than 450 years, and when the plastic decay become to microplastic, also the problem in the region that the study found that in the Asia Pacific region microplastic concentration is higher than other regions in the world. This is we can take a look, not just only plastic, but that plastic we use in the routine our daily life, but also net from fishing activity also play very important role on the plastic contamination in the sea. This is the very serious problem at some location. The plastic net, the net is take longer than the normal plastic that I already mentioned. It take 100 years for the decay. Here, I just show you that another case happened in Thailand recently, last 2 months ago, that pilot whale died in the coastal area of Songkhla province in Thailand after swallowing 8 kilograms of plastic bag, that more than 85 plastic bag. Although expert and veterinarian team try to help the whale, but cannot save this life. The whale mistake plastic bag for food, then become sick, vomiting up some bag, dying eventually. As the autopsy revealed that the plastic waste found in this whale not only come from Thailand but come from various countries. This is you can take a look at the mark of the product or the plastic bag, not just only in our country. There's a lot of plastic bags that we found in the whale. This is very important that show us mismanagement of the plastic waste really impact to the marine life. Here just show you the impact already mentioned for the impact of the plastic debris. The major source of plastic debris come from the land-based, especially from the routine activity, even from the river discharge to the ocean, also very important. In our region, Mekong River also one of the top 10 river discharge into the ocean and bring plastic to the ocean as well. This is very, very important why we have to tackle the problem. We have to look for not just only in the ocean itself, but the management of the plastic waste in land-based very important. The impact already mentioned. There are many kinds of plastic that we use, especially for the single-use plastic. We use a lot recently, but how in our country we also plan to ban some single-use plastic, but in the process of talking with the stakeholders. You take a look at the impact of marine debris on the marine endangered species. You can take a look what we found data from Phuket Marine Biological Center. The left graph show the number of dead animals landed on shore. But for the yellow line show the number of dead animals landed on shore caused by ingestion or entanglement of the plastic bag. You can see the number of the dead of animal from the plastic caused by plastic bag is increasing recently. This is the really important issue that we have to dealing with this problem. But in our country right now, we have developed what we call the Thailand National Strategy on National Resources and Environment. Marine debris are also very important issue that we put in our strategy, and in the strategy also in line with the pollution and waste management plan for the year 2017 to 2021, and our aim try to show especially for the domestic waste plastic also one of the major problem in the country. In Thailand, we produce approximately 27 million tons of the garbage each year. In that amount, approximately 20% consists of plastic. That's why we have to reduce the amount of plastic in the garbage. For the legal and institution framework, including the developing of financial of the plastic debris management. We talk about the taxation, we talk about free but still not yet conclusion, and promoting and encouraging eco-packaging design and eco-friendly design also very important. But right now, the type of the eco-friendly packaging are behind. We have to look for the tax compensation as well. Education also very important in our country. We have the community we call the garbage bank in community, some community, but how we can promote for the whole country. Implementation, 3R, reduce, reuse, recycle strategy, especially for the plastic waste, is very important. Also, right now we work closely with the industrial association tied to develop the material flow of plastic, how we use in the country, and how the plastic we use become to waste. How many, if we think about the incineration for the future, how many incineration we have to set up for treating the waste from plastic. For the our ministry, the minister also very concerned about the cooperation among the ASEAN countries, especially for tackling the plastic debris pollution. As I mentioned, and our colleague mentioned earlier, plastic debris is the transboundary in nature. We have to work together and solve the problem together. Sharing experience among country, member country also very important. Also in this forum, we work with the EU. I think the experience from EU we can learn from them and apply to our situation in the region. Also very important. Already mentioned by Dr. Wongthep, our Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, we also set up, we just the ASEAN Youth Stepping Toward Environmental Sustainability with the youth come from various countries from ASEAN member states. All together is around 120 youth join camp, and also the marine debris also one issue that the youth talk about and develop some project. We also conclude in the paper that we will submit to the ASEAN very soon. This is also very important. When we talk about the campaign, use this activities very important. And for the capacity building on research, monitoring of microplastic, when we talk about microplastic, I myself also assigned the Phuket Biological Center to monitor the microplastic. Right now is still develop methodology to take the sample, how much microplastic contamination in coastal water, how much contaminated in the marine organism that we can manage properly. We also promote on the reducing of the marine debris. This come to the cabinet also approved just recently on 17 July this year. The activity including the review of plastic bag and foam boxes in the government office. We will work closely with the service office to develop because KPI, key performance indicator. The government of the building have to set the target how much they're going to reduce for the plastic bag and also from the ban of the foam box, especially from the packaging for food. Campaigns on the reduction of plastic bag in fish market, we just launched recently last week, and we run for the whole country via the Office of Natural Resources and Environment in each province, and then they report every day how much they can reduce plastic bag in the province. Also ban plastic bags and foam box in national park that belong to our ministry and also zoological center. We have altogether for our national park 150 national parks around the country and 7 zoological centers around the country. We ban not allow to bring plastic back into our properties and set priority action, especially for the 24 coastal provinces. Also very, very important. We work closely with the Ministry of Interior to review and ban some plastic in 24 coastal provinces. This is our activity that we have done so far in the country, but we willing to share our activity or our experience. Also would like to learn from your experience to tackle the problem of the marine debris in the country, also in the region. Thank you very much.